Most people think the cell phone was invented by Silicon Valley companies, Apple, Samsung, Motorola. But the real story begins with a black inventor named Henry Thomas Sampson Jr., whose work laid the foundation for mobile communication long before smartphones existed. When I discovered his contribution, it completely changed how I saw the history of technology. Before I break it down, make sure you like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because the stories that shaped modern tech are often the ones no one taught us. In this video, I'm exploring the hidden history of Henry Thomas Sampson Jr., how his inventions, patents, and innovations contributed to the first cell phone, and why his name was mostly erased from the mainstream narrative. This isn't just trivia. It's a story about recognition, ingenuity, and how history often overlooks the people who truly built our modern world. The man behind the innovation. Henry Thomas Sampson Jr. was born in Jackson, Mississippi in 1934, during a time when opportunities for Black Americans in science were severely limited. But Sampson refused to let society's barriers define his potential. He earned his bachelor's degree in chemical engineering from Purdue University in 1956, making him one of the few African Americans to achieve this at the time. He didn't stop there. Sampson went on to earn a master's degree in engineering from UCLA and eventually became one of the first African Americans to earn a PhD in nuclear engineering from the University of Illinois in 1967. This wasn't just impressive, it was groundbreaking in an era when the scientific community was overwhelmingly white and often hostile to diversity. Sampson's early career took him to the U.S. Naval Weapons Center and later to the Aerospace Corporation, where he worked on highly classified projects. His expertise in chemical engineering and physics positioned him at the cutting edge of technological development during the space race era. But it was his work in the early 1970s that would spark a connection, however indirect, to the mobile communication revolution. The patent that started the confusion. In 1971, Henry Sampson, along with his colleague George Miley, received a patent for the gamma electric cell. Patent number 3,591,860 described a device that could convert radiation directly into electricity. This was legitimate, important scientific work in energy conversion technology. The gamma electric cell was designed to harness high-energy gamma radiation and transform it into usable electrical power, a concept that had potential applications in space exploration and nuclear technology. Now here's where history gets twisted. Somewhere along the way, people began connecting Sampson's work on energy cells to the invention of the cell phone. The logic seemed simple to some: cell phone, cellular technology, electric cell. They must be related, right? Wrong. This confusion has persisted for decades, spread through internet articles, social media posts, and even some educational materials. The truth is more nuanced and reveals both the complexity of invention and the importance of giving credit where it's actually due. What Sampson actually invented. Sampson's gamma electric cell was about generating power, not communication. It used radioactive materials to produce electricity, unrelated to radio transmission or cellular networks. In other words, Sampson developed a specialized battery, not a phone. The confusion comes from terminology. A cell in cell phones refers to network areas, not batteries. Sampson's gamma cell and cellular networks are completely different. His work was important for energy physics, but crediting him with inventing the cell phone misrepresents both his achievements and the real inventors. We should celebrate what scientists actually accomplished, not myths. The real cell phone pioneers. Martin Cooper and his team at Motorola made the first public mobile phone call on April 3, 1973, using a 2.5-pound device nicknamed the Brick. While Cooper's invention relied on cellular network concepts from Bell Labs in the 1940s, the first commercial networks didn't appear until Japan in 1979 and the US in 1983. Cell phones were the result of decades of work by thousands of engineers on radio tech, microprocessors, batteries, antennas, and networks. Credit to a single inventor oversimplifies this collaborative evolution. It's also important to recognize African American innovators like Garrett Morgan, Marie Van Britten Brown, and Mark Dean, whose contributions to technology have been crucial yet often overlooked. Why the myth persists. The Sampson cell phone myth highlights how we consume information in the digital age. People want to hear stories of overlooked inventors, especially from marginalized communities, long excluded from scientific narratives, and that desire is valid. The problem arises when these stories are shared without verification. Compelling narratives can spread faster than fact-checkers can correct them. There's also a common misconception that a patent automatically means inventing a product. Sampson's patent was for a specific type of energy conversion device, not mobile phones. Understanding patents and technical innovation requires attention to detail that headlines often skip. Celebrating real contributions. Henry Sampson Jr.'s real legacy is remarkable on its own. Beyond his gamma electric cell patent, he had a distinguished career in aerospace, contributing to rocket propulsion and space technology, holding multiple patents, and supporting key projects in America's space program. Later, he became a film historian, documenting early black filmmakers in Hollywood and writing several books, showing a mind devoted to both innovation and cultural preservation. Sampson passed away in 2015, leaving a legacy of scientific achievement and barrier breaking. His 1967 doctorate in nuclear engineering opened doors for future black scientists and engineers. Rather than spreading false claims, we should honor his genuine accomplishments. We should also celebrate other African American inventors whose real contributions transformed technology. Otis Boykin improved electrical resistors used in missiles and computers, and James West co-invented the electric microphone found in most phones, laptops, and hearing aids. Achievements made despite facing discrimination that their white peers did not. The bigger picture. The story of Henry Sampson and the cell phone myth teaches us to value historical accuracy and the complexity of invention. Technology is rarely the work of a single eureka moment. It builds on generations of innovation. Understanding this makes history more truthful, not less. We must be careful with viral claims, verifying facts through patents, academic sources, and multiple references. False stories, even with good intentions, can undermine efforts to recognize overlooked contributors. At the same time, we should highlight the real achievements of underrepresented inventors through better education, inclusive curricula, and celebration of true innovation. Henry Sampson Jr. was a brilliant scientist who made real breakthroughs in energy physics and aerospace. The cell phone, however, came from decades of collaborative work. Both stories matter, and keeping them separate honors everyone involved. Henry Thomas Sampson Jr. didn't just invent technology, he paved the way for how billions of people communicate today. His story reminds me that innovation doesn't always come with fame, and history doesn't always credit the right people. Which part of his story surprised you the most? Drop it in the comments. I want to hear your thoughts. Like the video, subscribe, and share this with someone who loves tech, history, or untold stories. Until next time, honor the innovators, dig deeper, and remember that the real history of technology is bigger than the names we see in the headlines.